Okay, so to graph these guys here, my recommendation to use software. I'll go through a few different products with you. One is Grapher, and with Grapher, what I'm going to do is you just type it in, and you type in, y equals absolute values, same symbol, graph it, and you get a pretty good picture over here. Nice, easy to control picture as well. Let me just take the other one, and that's the absolute value of x. Let me get rid of this one over here, and let's take a look at that. That's the absolute value of x plus the absolute value of cosine of x. You get a picture there. Let me go for the third one. And the third one's this one over here. That's C. Let's put that one down. And, sometimes I don't even see where the graph is, and it's over here. All right, so what I want to do is I want to just center the origin, and I want to zoom in. All right, I'm going to zoom into that. So I got pretty good control over this. And that's an important feature to have control over it. The other one to point out too is saving these graphs is pretty easy. All right. So let me go back to this graph over here. Let me zoom out. Let me just pull it down a little bit. And I'm going to take a different region of it. I'll do this region over here. All right. So if you want to save these guys, what you do is just, export it. A variety of formats. I don't know. I'm going to call it test image. I'll rewrite over this one over here. I'll replace it. It's just a test image. All right. So that's one option. But let's say you don't have that option. You want to go to the web and do it. Let's go to the web. And let me open up Wolfram Alpha. And what I want to do is I want to plot. Let's plot the same curve. All right. So let's plot y. I'm going to type in plot y equals the absolute value. I'm typing ABS x times the cosine of x. Oops. Oh, that's what happens. It plots it out. I realize some people look and say, I don't know what to do with these graphs. I want to save them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to customize it. All right. So I'll click on customize. And it allows me to do certain things with it, including input, title, blah, blah, blah. I want to say over here, though, it says, if you want to save the image, you have to go pro. That's not really true. If you want to save a high quality image, you got to go pro. But you could easily take this thing here and just drag it to the desktop. I just did that. And I'm going to double click that and I'm opening it up. There's a disadvantage to this though. I just copied it from the web. And I want to point out what the disadvantage is. If you kind of zoom in, you notice it gets pixelated. All right. Let me open up the other image. And let me just see test image PDF. And that's the one I saved in that other software I was using. And what's nice about this, you can zoom into this and you notice it doesn't get pixelated, right? It maintains resolution, which is great, right? That other image that I just dragged from the web, it got pixelated real quick, by the way, because it's not a high quality image. If you need to get a high quality image though, again, I would recommend getting software for that to do that. So again, if you're using Wolfram Alpha, they're going to ask you to go pro to customize those things and to save the document. I want to do one other application for you. And it's one if you start moving into mathematics, you have to learn. So let me just, I'll close this one out. I'll close this one out. And I want to go to the use of an application called Sage. So let me go over here. And let me close this window out, or shrink it down. And I'm going to just clear. I'm going to do reset. A lot more difficult to use, by the way. I'm going to say x is a variable. Whoops. And I'm going to define a function f of x equals, I don't know, let's do this one over here. Absolute value ABS of x plus the absolute value ABS of the cosine of x. And I'm going to plot plot f of x. Well, you know what? I notice over here I'm just going to type in from minus 10 to 10. And what's going to happen is it's actually going to generate an image. And by the way, it's free software. You have a good deal of control over this as well. I mean, you can save this thing as a PNG. You can certainly export it in any format you want at this point. And it's a good product. All right. It's also a free product. It's called Sage. So again, just to summarize, what do we do over here? I use commercial software, one that's installed on my computer. I also use the web-based Wolfram Alpha, and I also used software, open source software called Sage. All are great. You decide what you need to use to get these graphs done. Thank you.